Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Now, we've all heard the term overdriving the car, but what does overdriving the car actually mean? Well, my interpretation of overdriving the car is we're asking the car to do something that it's not capable of doing at that particular moment. 99% of the time, the car will be able to do what we want it to do, just not the way we're telling it to do it. So in this video, I'm going to try and demonstrate what overdriving looks like and the devastating effect that will have on your lap times and other things. So we all know the purpose of a race. You complete a set number of laps or a time quicker than anybody else. That means that you've got to get on the brakes later than everybody else. That means you've got to get on the gas earlier than everybody else. Doesn't it? Actually, no, it doesn't. And you're going to see why in this video. So for this video, we're in iRacing, but the simulator doesn't matter. It could be Le Mans Ultimate. It could be Assetto Corsa Competizione. It could be R-Factor 2. The principles are exactly the same. And we've chosen Sebring because Sebring's got a bit of a mix of everything. But again, the principles are exactly the same no matter what circuit you're driving. So I've done 2 stints in total. I did 10 laps, full push, trying to brake as late as I could, trying to get on the gas as early as I could, being really aggressive. And then I did another stint, 10 laps, how I would normally drive, just trying to be smooth with everything and not overdrive the car. So I'll play you a little clip now of a little sequence of turns. Tell me what you think I'm doing wrong. How am I overdriving? So that's a pretty simple sequence of corners. Heavy braking into a right turn and then get on the gas for a double left. But on entry, I'm overlapping the brake and throttle. And that does 2 things. Firstly, we're not braking as efficiently as we could do because for a millisecond, we are still accelerating whilst braking. So we go for our braking marker, the car is still pushing forwards just for a millisecond. And in turn, that also heats up the tyres and brakes. And because we're trying to do everything really quickly, the car's not really settled. And on exit, I'm getting on the gas way too aggressively. Again, asking too much of the rear tyres. You can get away with that at the beginning of a stint, but when the tyres start to heat up and get worn, it's a one-way ticket to the barrier. And I'll show you a clip now for comparison. So with this one, a bit of a lift and coast on entry, nice smooth braking, nice smooth turning, nice smooth throttle application, trying to stop those rear wheels from spinning. And it's exactly the same principles for every turn. A little bit of lift and coast before braking, that helps settle the car, also uses a little bit less fuel. And when we hit the brakes, we know the car's going to start braking. And you'll notice that I'm not really hitting maximum peak pressure. It's just nice, smooth, progressive braking. Now, over the course of that 10-lap stint, when I was pushing, the tyre temperatures were off the scale. My left rear was at 101 degrees. So those last 2 laps when I was really pushing, I was really struggling, which was reflected in the lap times. And in the stint where I was just nice and smooth, lifting and coasting, progressive braking, my left rear didn't really go above 95 degrees, which meant it was consistent. And the car pretty much did what I expected it to do every single lap. So my average lap time from the first stint when I was pushing, when I was being aggressive, 202.643. In the second stint, when I was just being nice and relaxed, nice and smooth, my average lap time was 202.118. And not to mention the fuel. First stint, our average fuel usage, 3.74 litres per lap. Second stint, our average was 3.38 litres per lap. That's 3.6 litres less fuel in 10 laps. So if you were doing a race which required a pit stop, well, you can't just put in 3.6 litres of fuel on iRacing anyway. You've got to put in 4 litres. So to put in 4 litres of fuel, 2.8 seconds. And one last thing to mention, tyre wear. This is a shot of the tyre wear from the push lap. And this is a shot of the tyre wear when we were just being a bit more chilled out. All that aggressive driving, braking really late, getting on the gas too early, wheel spinning, it took its toll on the tyre wear. Much more usage with the first stint. Now, obviously I'm no esports driver. I'm just your regular sim racer. And if I can do this, you can do it as well. My tips to not overdrive the car: a bit of lift and coast. Lift off the gas before you approach your braking zone and brake just after where you would normally brake because the car's already slowed down a few kph. And brake nice and progressively and just trail brake as normal to the apex. Get on the gas nice and smooth. Try and prevent wheel spin. Try not to go 100% gas until the car's straight enough where it's not going to start moving around. By doing that in this video, I've had quicker lap times, we've used less fuel, which would have gained us 2.8 seconds in the pits, and we've got less tyre wear. And it just felt much more relaxed. It was easy. In the first stint, I was really trying to hustle the car around. It was difficult. It was oversteering, missing braking markers, bouncing off curbs, wheel spinning. Second stint, nice and relaxed, just chilled out. It was effortless. Now, in qualifying, it's slightly different because your tyres are in the best condition that they're going to be and you're carrying less fuel. So you don't need those longer braking distances. The car's a bit more agile, a bit more nimble just because it's got less weight and the tyres are good. So over 1 or 2 laps, you can get away with overdriving in a qualifying session. But you've probably been in a race which is 10, 20 laps long and towards the back end, you start to struggle. People start pulling away. Well, that's because they haven't been overdriving. They haven't cooked the tyres. The tyre temperatures are lower. The tyre usage is lower. They've maybe saved a little bit of fuel in the pits and they've got themselves further up the track. All these things that you do when overdriving that you don't realise you're doing because you're in the heat of the moment, all have a negative impact on your race pace. So this is just something for you to think about. Go away, do some practice. I wouldn't be surprised if a few of you come back in the comments and say that you're quicker than you were before by going slower. So if you did find this video useful, please remember, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more, please consider subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching. Have a great week. See you later. Cheers.